didn't see you there. Well, welcome to BAA News with your hosts, Elise Jimenez
and Belle
Tellez. What's our first story today, Belle?
Well, our first story on the agenda is about Congress. So, I think you've heard about the Republicans taking over.
I did.
Mm-hmm. And with the party taking over also comes changes. So,
what kind?
For one, 100 women will be taking over the Senate, and another. For the first time in a century, a Republican from Montana will take a seat in the Senate as well. Now, that senator is Steve Daines, who tells us that the voters, by voting for him, want to see change. Now, do you think that change will occur?
I don't know. My hands are tied here. I'm just going to have to wait and see what unravels.
Yeah. Well, speaking of change, do you think the Democrats and Republicans will work together?
Well, speaking of that, our next story for today talks about how Obama and Republicans are playing nicely, but only for now. The two parties are compared to two squabbling kids. And what do you think about that, Dom?
The Democrats and Republicans have never really gotten along.
That's so true. So we'll have to wait to see what will happen to these two parties. What will happen in the following years with these two parties going head to head. Our next story talks about a fiscal cliff. And for any of you out there who don't know what it is, a fiscal cliff is a description of the looming deadline when a tax cut is expired and our spending cuts, kicks in. Our White House and Congress are looking into a package of measure that will lead the country into a different direction so we don't find ourselves in a fiscal cliff. What do you think about?
Well, if they're looking for us to get out of a fiscal cliff or not to be in a fiscal cliff, then I think that will take some work, especially with our government right now.
Yes, our divided government. How beautiful. What's our next story about?
Well, our next story is about the youngest elected politician. Now, how old do you think this politician is, Alicia?
Late 30s?
Even younger.
Mid-20s?
Even younger.
Early 20s?
A bit younger.
19?
Younger.
18?
Yes.
Goodness gracious! Oh my gosh!
Well, a freshman college student, Sarah Blair, made history after defeating her 44-year-old opponent with surprising percentages as well, 63-30 in the House of Delegates. Now, on her Facebook campaign page, she wrote, "I am honored and humbled to have been elected to be the youngest member ever to serve in the West Virginia House of Delegates."
Well, I think that it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because we need like a new, fresh mind to help us. But it's also a bad thing because she doesn't have the experience that an older person would have.
Yes, like her 44-year-old opponent.
Yes.
But her 44-year-old opponent admitted defeat and even congratulated young Sarah Blair.
That's very nice of them.
Yes. Now, it's very funny as well as this was the first year that she, even herself, Sarah Blair, was able to vote.
That's amusing.
Yeah. All right.
It's very shocking.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
So, on to our next story.
Our next story talks about how North Korea had detained 3 Americans, and two of the Americans, Matthew Todd Miller and Kenneth Bae, no, not Bae as in before anyone else, Bae is his last name, they were held in North Korea, and U.S. Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, had to travel to North Korea to get them. A month before, Jeffrey Bowie was also detained, but was now freed. Now, no Americans are held in North Korea.
I find that news very positive.
I do too.
Seeing as the Americans were being freed by North Korea.
Yeah. And Obama had, of course, had
His own opinion.
his own opinion. Obama talks about how grateful he is that the Americans are back here in the United States and they were returned safely. So no harm was done to them, and very grateful.
Very good news.
Very, very good news, considering our class. So,
Our last story.
our last story of the day.
Yes. Alright, so this past Tuesday, on, what was it, election day? Well, in Greensboro, North Carolina, a bunch of college students were streamed out from campus chanting, one of the most popular chants being, "This is what democracy looks like." And it was in regards mainly to the shooting and killing of unarmed black teen, Michael Brown. Apart from that, now Bennett and all women's historically black college, known for being active in civil and voting rights, are making their voices being heard. The president of Bennett, Ross Fuse Hall, states, "This election is an important election. If they wish to reverse the tide of constraining women's rights and minority rights, as well as the stakes of voting rights, children's education, and healthcare for our seniors." Now those are very, very, very important topics.
Well, you're right on that, you and Ross. They're very important to our society and our country because they are.
And it's very important of them to stick up for those rights and having their voices being heard as well.
Yes, because we all have a voice and we should all use it.
Alright.
Well,
Well,
that seems like it's it. Unless there's anything else that you could think of?
no. Well,
Wait,
I'm
wait,
Belle.
Alicia.
Oh,
Here.
thank you, Miss Jimenez.
You're welcome.
Oh.
Oh!
Well,
Oh my gosh.
This is
Just in.
This is very, very exciting news. It seems to be that Fast and Furious 7 has come out with their trailer.
Yep.
And in case you didn't know,
Well, Paul Walker's brother replaced him after Paul Walker died. But he did shoot some of the scenes, so Paul Walker will be shown.
so part of it's going to have Paul Walker, part of it's going to have his brother. And we're happy to announce that the movie will come out on April 10th, 2015. So hope to see you guys there.
Yep. Alright.
Because we'll be going.
Yeah,
You should join
definitely.
us. Yes.
The
Yes.
other movies were fantastic.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
And Paul Walker is Bay before anyone else. Not like, because that's his last name.
Yeah. Now, on that note, I think we shall be leaving. I'm Belle,
And I'm Alicia,
and thank you for watching.
BAA News.
Happy time. Really, Alicia? Really?
It's actually
Good morning, America. And your host is Val Tejas and Alicia Jimenez. I was gonna say Styles. Cause I never recorded because I thought she was gonna say go. Oh.
Good morning, America. Welcome to BAA News with Alicia, Styles, and no.
Oh my god, no, I can't even.
Good morning, America.
Well, it's about the new Congress. And I'm sure that the Republicans take control, right?
I have, and speaking of,